If you've attended these events before, you know the name Darl Andersen, I'm sure. The Darl Andersen Award is one of the most esteemed Golden Rule Awards. Darl personified the truth of the Golden Rule every day of his life. Darl left a lasting impression with his family of the importance of the Golden Rule, which is why each year someone from his family attends the banquet to present the award named in his honor. We're happy to have Darl's grandson, Greg Andersen, with us. Greg?
Good evening. It's an honor to be here to introduce this award and my grandfather. He loved the community and he loved everyone around him. And I had the great privilege, along with two of my cousins, to take care of him while he was 5 months before he passed away, while his health was failing. And we were seniors in high school. So to us, we were invincible and powerful. And so it was obvious to my grandpa that we were such. And so he trusted us in carrying him, lifting him, moving him around, to the point where he called us his huskies. And we really enjoyed that. In fact, he didn't trust anyone else to carry him or to lift him. He didn't trust his own daughters. And he for sure did not trust his own sons to do that. And there was one night that stood out to me. And this night, it was late, and it was about a month before my grandfather passed away. He called us in and into his bedroom. It was really late at night. And at this time, he didn't speak very clearly. It was difficult for him to speak. His mind wasn't really there. But this night was a lot different. He was very clear. His mind was clear, like he was in his prime. And he called us in, and he lifted up his hand. He had really big, massive hands, and he said, "Boys, I want you to remember something. There is no time to wait. Love and serve those around you. There is no greater work than this in your life. Go do it." And at that time, he fell back asleep. And that was my grandfather, that love. And he was a great teacher of the Golden Rule. He embodied it. It was in his DNA. And this video will also share that with you.
Darl Andersen introduced to us the importance of living the Golden Rule, because all faiths have that principle in their sacred writings and in their doctrines or tenets.
Most of the time when I saw him, he had some suspenders on that were the Golden Rule. He also wore a big hat with a bumper sticker that went across the top that said "Live the Golden Rule." From a very early age, my grandfather was involved in service, serving others. It started with his family. His father passed away when he was young from cancer. And a few hours before he passed away, he called my grandfather in and spoke to him for about an hour or so, kind of handing over the responsibilities of the family. And it scared him. But he took the responsibility on, and he served his family. He was responsible for providing for them. He served his sisters. He served a mission for his church in New England. And during that time, he was a great basketball player. So they actually had a basketball team that he was a part of. He married my grandmother, I believe in 1945, Irma. And immediately they were helping other people. Many members of the LDS community came from Mexico to go into the temple, to attend the temple. But it was a long journey, and they didn't have anywhere to stay. And so just being married a year or two, my grandmother and grandfather began to house these people from Mexico, 20 to 25 people in their home at a time for a good week. And they did that for years. And in 1972, he retired in order to go full-time in promoting the Golden Rule. And at that time, in the early 1970s, there was a good amount of contention or disagreement among the various faiths in the community in Mesa. So my grandfather did not like that. He enjoyed being happy, he enjoyed being with people. He decided that he was going to find out why people didn't like him, why there was contention among the active leaders of the community. He actually made it a hobby to take a minister out to lunch. That was what he liked to do. He would oftentimes talk to people who really had bad feelings toward him because of who he represented and the fact that he was a missionary. And by the end of the conversation, they were scheduling lunch. He was president of the Mesa Ecumenical Clergy Association and was a longtime member of that. In fact, I have many memories of hosting dinners for the Mecca at our home. He received the Service to Mankind Award by the Sertoma Club in Mesa in 1977. He also received the Mesa Man of the Year Award in 1982 for his outstanding service in the community.
I would love to see Darl again. I'd wrap my arms around that man and give him the biggest bear hug I could give him. He was a marvelous person and absolutely a saint of God.
Quite a guy, huh? Thanks to Darl for leading the way, and for you, Greg, and the rest of the family for continuing to carry the torch. Now let's learn about tonight's Darl Andersen Award recipient.
This will be a 41-yard attempt.
No one kicks better than Nick. Nick Lowery of the Kansas City Chiefs, the most accurate kicker in the history of the NFL. But long before Lowery was a hero, he was a flop. He tried out for 9 different teams and was cut by the New York Jets and the New England Patriots, by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Baltimore Colts, cut by the Cincinnati Bengals and the Washington Redskins, by the New Orleans Saints and the San Diego Chargers, before he made it in Kansas City in 1980.
Each time I would go through it, it made me stronger.
Physically and mentally. Now at 38, superbly conditioned and supremely self-confident, Lowery is the master of his special art. Nick has worked in the White House during his off-seasons for 3 presidents on projects ranging from drug abuse to national service legislation, which probably explains why, when he kicked 5 field goals against Denver, scoring all of Kansas City's points, he received a handwritten note that said, "All your national service pals are very proud." It was signed, Bill Clinton.
Well, the Nick Lowery Foundation is dedicated to the incredible love and support that all people deserve. And I started Kick with Nick for cerebral palsy in 1982. And that went on to become the longest running player program in NFL history, raised $1 million, and won the National United Cerebral Palsy Award. It was an incredible blessing to me to find balance in my life. And then working in the inner city in Kansas City, we started Adult Role Models for Youth, which went on to become known as Youth Friends, and in the end served over 20,000 at-risk youth in Missouri and Kansas, with 38 youth serving agencies and the high schools there, and giving incredible purpose to over 3,000 volunteers. And then I was able to work in the White House Drug Abuse Policy Office, which informed that work in '88 for Reagan, and then the Points of Light Foundation, which is a great metaphor, the points of light that each of us can be, for H.W. Bush in his first year, the first president to do that, the first president to say this is what it's all about. Certainly echoing what John F. Kennedy said when he said it's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, which to me is what informs everything I do. And from there, the Clinton White House helping launch AmeriCorps, which again is a chance for young people to taste what it is to actually work in depth in the community and learn through struggle, through adversity, how to build relationships and partnerships and bring about change where people are connected, where there's a sense of empathy and a purpose and a direction, a safety, and a certain creative beauty in each community. And so that program that started as Youth Friends continued for 20 years. Every program I've ever done has moved on to NativeVision, which was on Oprah in 1997 as the best new program for Native youth, and that continues now in 23 years. It's a life skills and sports program with every year about 700-800 youth from 40 tribes in 7 different sports. And that's been wonderful. And then after going to Harvard, focusing on leadership programs for Native youth, which is called Nation Building for Native Youth. And I've been doing that for 18 years, working with Unity. Every young person, and frankly, every adult in the country, needs to feel like they're connected to their greatest gifts, their most incredible power, which is not deriving from something outside themselves, but from within. And that's our goal with Nation Building for Native Youth and all our work, is to awaken the sense of purpose, the sense of passion, the sense that one can really make a difference. From there, starting a program for anti-bullying, seeing how that is such a scourge for so many young people with the technology of cyberbullying, making it 10 times worse than it might be. And then 12 years ago, starting the wonderful program Champions for the Homeless, which has just grown more naturally than anything I've ever done and embodies to me how simple it can be to make a huge difference in the world. That's what the blessing really is, that every time you do it, you get more sophisticated, more powerful, and more purposeful. And every day that has that, we're connected to our Creator in a more real sense, which is what it's all about.
The Darl Andersen Award goes to Mr. Nick Lowery.
How can you sum up why you do what you do in 1 minute? Every one of us in this room is an echo of the greatest souls we've ever met in our lives. And that's it. We echo the love and the wisdom to fill this incredible skill set and talent that God gave each one of us to make a difference. And that's the one thing in life that can never be taken from us and that always grows. And that's it. Playing that music every day fills me up. I know each one of you echoes that music in your own way. God bless you to go out and do more. I want to take 2 seconds to thank Steve Zabilski and Jerry Castro from St. Vincent de Paul's, who never leave St. Vincent de Paul's, who fill it with love, all the volunteers. I definitely want to thank my twin sister Annie and my twin older brothers Mark and Chris who are here. I want to single out my friend Austin Farr, who lost his leg and yet has grown, and I'm
so honored to be your friend, Austin, as you grow in life, and you symbolize taking everything in life as a lesson to be a great leader. And I also want to thank Honoree Norton and James Casey and Larry Fultz for all you do. And most importantly, I want to thank God for filling each one of us with this gift. This is nothing. This is wonderful. It's a tremendous honor, but it's nothing compared to the work we do, right? That's where the joy is and the juice is in life. And we stand to make America what it's supposed to be by doing the work every day. God bless you. Keep loving and learning and falling down 1,000 times like I did and getting back up. God bless you and thank you again.
Nick Lowery, ladies and gentlemen. One of many standing ovations for that fellow.